Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Mike and I am a programmer. Now, we know we're in an art class, but sometime, if you want to have some more advanced effect, if you want to create some kind of flowing river, you could either do that through animation, or you could also do that through shaders. And that's what we're here to talk about today, because it's a big part of the final result of your game. So we're talking about anything that is not static in your scene and that is also not animated. Sometimes they're done through shaders. To give you some example, we can have a look at some famous games out there that do use a lot of shader to make everything look pretty. Now if you're a new artist, shaders are used to display, the color, the lighting, specular sometimes, but it's also used to create some awesome effect. In this game, you're going to see that shaders are being used all around the player right now to render this really nice effect. And right here, the shader is the one that highlights the enemy and give it his nice little glow, his little rim around him. So they can be used at a couple of different places, and today we're going to have a look at a shader we created, a really simple one. We're not going to go so in depth, but we're going to have a look at a shader we've created just to create a very simple wave-ish deformation, some kind of flag effect. So I have a new scene open right now. I'm going to make sure to right click and create a new unlit shader, and I will call this flag or deformation. It's really up to you. In the end, we'll create some kind of flag effect where it just goes up and down based on the time. Now you can go ahead and open this by double clicking on it. It will open up in your favorite text editor for Unity in this case. By default, this is what you're going to have. Now we understand that this is not a course on how to code or how to create shader. So what we'll do here is we'll have a look at the resources on this video. And in the resources of this video, you'll find out this script right here. It's already written. All you have to do is take it and drop it in your project. I will go ahead and just copy it in this area over here. So once you download that script, you put it in the shader you just created, the flag shader in this case. You're going to have all of this. And in case you don't, in case you want to copy it by hand, go ahead. It's right here. This is what we'll be using. Now, before we go any further, I will make you go at the very top of the script and change the name of it. We can call it flag. You don't have to call it flag, you can call it whatever you want. So you could say my name / flag, and that is going to create a folder and then give the shader the name flag. What do I mean by that is if you save this and head over to your project, let's actually create a new plane. So I'm going to right click and add a new plane, just a normal plane, place it in the middle of the world. And then we'll give it any color. So I'll go ahead and create another material here as well. So material, I'll call that flag. And we will drag and drop this material on top of the plane. You'll find out that we have the material called flag, and he's using the standard shader. We don't want that. We want to use our shader we just made right now. So we know that it's under my name and then flag. And if you have a look now, you'll see that the object is actually curved like this. Now the cool thing about this is that in the game, this is still a plane. This is still a plane. The only difference is that we see it differently, and that's what the shader does. It did a deformation on it. But code-wise, like logic-wise, physics-wise as well, it is still the same thing. And to prove you that it's still the same thing, I will create a new 3D object that is a sphere, and we're going to place it just above our flag. We'll give it a rigid body, and we'll just play the game. You'll see that this is acting as if it was a plane. So this is a simple plane. But when we look at it in the game, you'll see that it moves just like a flag. So this is a cool thing about shaders. Now we added a couple of things under that flag. If you open up the shaders, you'll see there's a couple of properties. First one is the main color. This is always used in most of the shader. You can change that if you want. We can decide to put a texture as well. So whatever you feel like, we could use the same portal as before. And you can play with the main color if you want. So all of these things are possible on the standard material. And we're actually using this one here. So this is like another kind of shader. Right. There's also a couple of other things you can modify, such as the wave speed and also the wave height. It's a little bit hard to preview in the inspector or in the editor because it's not running on the same clock as the shader is running. So you have to start the game and then do your modification. So here I am modifying stuff in the game. And since you're actually modifying a shader, these one are going to be saved when you stop the engine. So you see, even if the engine is stopped now, we still keep the same settings. So you can go here and adjust this as much as you want. Maybe even make this go faster. And here we go. So we have a nice little wavy effect. Now do note that we're going to be using this in the future to create some kind of effects. I hope you enjoyed this little snippet into shaders and also code in general for art. Just do know that in the future you might have to mix your art skills with some programming skills to make the desired effect. What do you say? Thanks for watching? What is it you say? What do you say? Thanks for watching?
Say something funny. Hurry up! I gotta eat my hot wings. Are you done yet?
Are you done yet? Alright, so that's done for me. I'll go ahead and pet my catto and I'll leave you with the small Asian.
Nani?